And we're back for another one. Underground World News Live. Here on this June 3rd, 2024. Yes, much love to everybody out there. I want to thank everyone out there that joins me here for the streams. And as always, I want to thank everyone out there that shares it. It's appreciated more than you know. Much love, Angela. Much love, Hoodie Ross. Tooge. Hope everyone is doing well. Per the usual, we've got plenty to cover here. Make sure I got thing pulled up here. Thing looks good. Shout outs to everybody on D Live. Thank you, Judge Britt, for the feedback. Jay Winch in the house. Live tonight on Kick, on X, YouTube, and D Live. And YouTube is where you can catch most of the replays. I don't know what's been going on with D Live. Past couple times I've tried to send it. It's either not there or it's not setting. But you gotta subscribe over there anyway, apparently, to see it. So, YouTube, probably the best place to catch it. Killer shot of the sunset there. Big city in the Big Apple. If you guys got any amazing shots, let me know. Dabu7 on yahoo.com. Now, I'll still use Rumble when needed. Was kind of trying to stick to a Friday night thing, but this past Friday night, I didn't. I felt that I could just go on YouTube. So, I mean, Rumble's definitely there. I'm going to try to utilize it on Fridays and stuff like that. That's pretty much all I can say. To keep utilizing it in some bit. And it's always good to have a place to jump over to air things out that you can't talk about on this platform. You guys know what I mean by that. Colleen, checking in, coming in with 3 coffees right out the gate. That is the best way to support the show. That, PayPal, there are links below. I appreciate all that as well. Not on BitChute. I'm signed up over there, but I'm not utilizing it. You guys see the ones I'm utilizing here. It's kind of crazy, though, because if I don't go somewhere, someone just creates an account with my name and starts putting out stuff if not. And I don't know. It's a two-way street there. It's kind of like, well, should I just go ahead and utilize it and let people know who the real cat is? Because I tell you what, places like TikTok, and Brenda, thank you for the 5 coffees. Thank you to the fullest, Brenda. Places like TikTok, you'll find me all over the place over there. Tons of videos, even shorts all over the place. My voice, my stuff, people clip. So it's like, why am I not over there? I don't know. My whole thing with TikTok, though, was, whole Chinese government and this and that, and the tracking. I don't know. I got some more I'm going to talk about on that lined up here in just a bit. Let's get this thing going, though, here first. Spiro in the house. Let's see you, brother. Much love. Always good chatting. Starting off here up it with some space weather and some news and reports here. A few things we've got going on. First off, still in the top of the solar cycle. Still a lot of activity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 9 to 10 active sunspots on the Earth-facing side. The one we've been watching has popped off a couple flares. Actually, there was like a double flare that popped off. It was an X1 and an M7. M is like right below X. So it's all about if they were Earth directed. They're saying that it could create CMEs here in the coming days. Then I've got another one here, though. Shout outs to D White here on this one. As you can see, it's saying we may get another chance to see the Northern Lights in Idaho soon. Here's why and when. And what they're talking about here is they're saying that per these new models, the best chance using the NOAA data, spaceweatherlive.com says the best chance to see an aurora will be between June 8th and 12th, when the geomagnetic activity is expected to be elevated. During that window, the current forecast shows it will be highest on June 9th and 11th, meaning a greater likelihood of seeing auroras if the conditions are right. Now, I'm asking myself, how do they know that? Because we were just over on space weather, and like I've looked at the models, we know all the CMEs that have let loose. We know where they're at, when they're projected to get here. I just told you in the coming days. But nothing. I mean, this is so far out in advance, this is like guessing. And it looks like that's exactly what it is. It says the NOAA has an experimental aurora forecast that updates daily. And the smartphone app estimates a chance of seeing northern lights based on your location. So I guess that's where they're deriving all this information off of, is that. And where that band, or the view line, so to speak, is going to come down to. I don't know. If you want, you can check out that app, see what kind of results you get. If you're up there in the northern regions, you definitely have a better chance at seeing this stuff. Oh, wake up out there. Much love. Ha, I bet God I see you. Rainbow. Jay from the Ville. Hold on, Jay. Hold up. Thought I had you set over there. Had to add a moderator. You cut up over there. Oh, you know what? Let me, You guys have earned your stripes here. E. Fitz, Jay, definitely. Welcome. Lisa Marie in the house. Yeah, much love to everybody out there listening in worldwide. I appreciate you guys that share the stream. Well, if you guys catch a shot of the auroras, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Tag me on Twitter. And, yeah, man. So there we have it. With that, some updates there. I was looking at the earthquake maps. I didn't see a whole lot going on. This is cute. Let me mention this here real quick. This has to do with China landing its spacecraft on the far side of the moon to collect samples. And they've been doing this. It seems that everything that's been going on with us has been getting scrapped and delayed. When it comes to the space stuff, of course, we've been fed lies for decades about the stuff, longer than I've even been here. The lies have been peddled in terms of the space program, the moon landing. You guys know all that crap. But today, with today's technology, we've got a little bit of a different angle on things. When they launch these things with the right technology, we can sit here and we can watch them launch it from the ground, film it. You should be able to follow these craft all the way to the moon. Straight shot. Shouldn't have to lose it. If you got clear skies, this thing takes off. You should be able to track these things from takeoff point to touchdown on the moon. I know somebody out there, some cats got some telescopes. It's time to put them to use the best we can here and to try to coordinate something like this because, something's got to give. You can either see something going straight to that moon or something has to happen in between, and there's only one way to find out. And I say that we do it. Wake up. Thank you. What do I worry about civil unrest? Yeah, I'm going to get to that here in a little bit. I got some stuff on that. I'm going to bring that up. Thank you for the question and the donation. Appreciate it to the fullest. But, the moon, very intriguing. It's right there. It affects this planet tremendously, especially with the ebb and the flow of the oceans, the tidal force. A lot of crazy, strange characteristics to it. I personally believe, just from the data that I've gathered off the thing, that it is a made object. It didn't just like form from debris after the Earth hit Tiamat and all this other crap, or the belt. No. It is a configured, like the Death Star, call it. Laugh at it all you want. But that's what I see it as. It's hollow in nature. They've proven that much to me. They've proven it, period. They've crashed objects into it. The whole world listened. And when the whole world listened with their instruments, they can't fake that because they can make everybody lie. No. So we know when they hit it, it rang like a bell. All the instruments picked it up, rang like a bell, did not thud like something solid, so it's hollow. And they did that a couple times, actually. And I feel that it's got a lot going on here. It could even spiritually. And it could be one of the main mechanisms to this place that I call Soul Trap Earth. Something is helping to keep our souls here, locked, trapped, regurgitating them. Yeah. So Sparrow says, and he's done interviews with guys like Richard Hoagland here. He says former NASA scientist Richard Hoagland believes that there are 2 engines inside the moon. That is very interesting, and I don't doubt it. Anything's possible at this point, even inside of our own planet. Where do you think these things are hiding? The fallen. Inside our planet, inside the waters. You don't believe me? Could take your beloved Tucker Carlson for it. He's done told you. You've been living under a rock or just wanting to turn the cheek. Something's here. It's always been here. As me and Spiro reported on back in the day, they landed on Mount Hermon. And it's well written about in all your Bibles and everything else. They came into the women of this planet. They bore Nephilim. I guess you're just going to ignore all that too, huh? You wonder why we're in this mess, because everyone just wants to keep ignoring crap. All right? There's stuff going down here, and I believe the other life forms, they're here. The fallen are here. They told us. So, to me, our fellow humans, the politicians that have sold us out, are bowing down to these things. Maybe different breeds, different races of them. Surely, there are of us. Why wouldn't there be of them? But they're the ones really controlling this place. This is an evil place, man. A proving ground, if you will. I see it as your soul is on a mission, on a journey in this vessel. Because even if you're not spiritual, if you've got a brain, and you look at the stuff scientifically, you see that energy never dies. And that we're energy. So what does that mean happens to you when you die? We're eternal. Unless you want to give that up. That soul energy up. And I don't. You see, someone wants that, though. Someone is trying to gather that. Gathering souls, if you will, here. I guess the whole test is to get out of here, right? I truly believe you got to walk righteous, man. It's the best way to get out of here is to live as righteous as you can. Be good to others and fight the good fight, man. It's pretty simple. Fight the good fight or sit here and keep doing the evils. Keep wallowing in your sin. How do you expect to ever elevate? How do you expect something higher to want you, to select you, to take you, to move you up into a higher life form? Huh? How? You got to prove it here, no matter what it is that you've got. How much material possessions. It's how you walk this life, man. I'm telling you. As Yeshua said. Keep it pushing. It seems U.S. drivers prefer gas cars over EVs overwhelmingly. Just 21% of consumers like the EVs. And I foresee that this is, it kind of shows it's already a failed thing. All the companies losing major money. Nobody wanting them. But I don't think they're just going to stop there. I mean, Americans may be pushing back and may stall this thing out, and hopefully we do. But around the globe, they're hell-bent on pushing this, even though they know there's problems with it. On even just getting rid of the batteries and all this other stuff. That's the side they don't want to talk about. They're all about trying to say they want all this green stuff, but when you go to have to get rid of and dispose of all this stuff, they don't have an answer. Well, I seen a piece that was ironically shared by Spiro about David Icke, and he was talking about how this whole thing is set up basically because AI is going to control everything. It's not a secret. We see where it's going. That's their plan. And they ultimately are going to have vehicles to where you get in, you have a destination selected, and your vehicle takes you to that place. And apparently none of this really works well with gas-powered vehicles. Works best with the electric vehicles. But the problem here is they want to take it to a place to where they can stop you from going certain places. If you want to go out and see Area 51, as he says, no, you're not. They won't let you. He said, what are you going to do? Walk? And that's where they're taking this, full control once they get it there. Especially as they're shifting over to these drones, these that are flying, 2-person, 4-person, or whatever. That is the way. I've done reported this whole past year how they've given license out for them to test these flying cars, starting at like $70,000. They're going to be on the market, and they have to make them affordable for everyday people if they want a conversion over to this fully. And those won't be, I don't think they're not going to be much powered by gas. They're going to be pretty much the EV technology as well, just battery operated. But you're going to be floating and flying around versus driving. It's going to be interesting to see all these models getting rolled out. I mean, we're going to be entering the era of like the Jetsons, on the border of it. Anti-gravitics and all those things still not rolled out. I'm not so sure we're going to see that till 2030s. I really feel they're going to take high-grade technology and dangle it like a carrot on a stick in front of all these people around that time frame. If you want to take part in all these amazing things, you've got to be a part of the global system. Beast system. And that's a trap. And those are going to be all the luxuries of it. You can enjoy this world where you can zip from here to there and do all these amazing things. They're going to come out. But only if you're a part of the system. The global family, as they're going to put it. And they're going to try to single other people, the people that are not a part of it out, and say that you're the black sheep, that you're the terrorist, as they're already going to do. Crazy times. All right, let's move on. Trump. They say Trump's coal country could supply the nation with a 40% lithium demand. Now pay attention here real quick. I'm telling you what, just something just that tells me and has told me this whole time, just in my soul, that when it comes to coal, there's like a ruse going on, that they have the technology to burn this stuff or to do different things that they're not telling us. And as they broke down coal country here, they've swooped in and tried to buy it up. Why would you do that? Unless there's something special. Unless we're about to hear some announcements, there's going to be a shift. Well, look at this one. This talks about how our transition to a decarbonized economy demands massive base metals and rare earth minerals. Currently, China dominates the rare earth mineral market. And they've been buying coal from our government hand over fist this whole time, while we, the people, have been banned from selling it. Now, you tell me, where's the sense in this? How come the states can't sell independently and be prosperous, but yet the federal government can? And to our biggest enemies on the world stage. How does that work? How are people not protesting this? Well, people are. States are. States like mine have completely risen up and said, if you want to say a word about us using coal, get out. And I'm telling you, this is the line in the sand. And it says here that one unlikely area where we're going to get a boost in reliance on this is where 40% of the nation's lithium supply could be sourced from. And they say Trump's coal country, otherwise known as good old Appalachia. And they say here that the wastewater from oil and gas rigs across the Marcellus Shale formation could supply the nation with 40% of its lithium needs. Did you know that? Did you know that they could pull that from the wastewater and all this? Lithium concentrates that exist at the surface in some capacity all across Pennsylvania and other areas. They found that there's sufficient lithium in these waters to supply somewhere between 30 and 40% of the current U.S. national demand. Dude, that is freaking huge. Your small-minded person is just going to sit there and it's going to bounce off their small mind or dome. Okay? This is huge. Little things like this. So, expand on this. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg on how deep and how far that this can go. And they're just now coming out and saying this when people never knew it was even possible like this before in this area. Well, as I see it, it's all our God-given resources. You know, natural gas, coal, all this stuff, the lithium, all these things, man. They're what can make you rich. Do you understand me? Are you hearing me? It's one of the very few things out there that it can make you rich. You wealthy, at least better off, at least put your family in a better position. And even if you're not selling none of it, if you have natural gas and coal on your property, along with timber, you're set. You can set up a gasifier. You can have energy forever. Forever. That is huge. Okay, so, and we need to talk more about that in separate videos about the survival aspect and the whole gasifier thing. It's all very real. You can get the blueprints for it. You can build it. Because we're very close to the big event here. All the years that we've talked about this. I just wanted to point it out, though. There you go with Appalachia coming through. Always wanting to ban everything, but I don't understand. I've never understood what is up with YouTube over here. I look over, and it shows me 1 minute 600 are watching, 1 minute 700 and something watching, next minute 900 watching, then back down to 700. It's just like all over the place. I don't understand service. Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate the donation to the fullest. I told you before, thieves are getting out of control so bad that when storms come through, they're cutting down telephone poles and they're stealing all the copper wire off poles. Well, now thieves are targeting fire hydrants in South Los Angeles. Shout outs to D. White again on this one. And no, there's not a real good excuse for it at all. Besides the fact that they're going and hawking it for a few bucks, literally just a few bucks at a local place in Sweet Pea. Much love. Right back at you. Thank you for the 3 coffees. Appreciate it more than you know. Fire hydrants just getting stolen left and right in South Los Angeles. I'm going to play this clip so you can see what's going on here. Get a refresh on this here real quick. Here we go.
Developing news this morning from South Los Angeles, where thieves appear to be targeting fire hydrants. One incident was caught on video. KTLA 5's Jennifer McGraw live in the Florence Firestone area with some details. Good morning.
Hi, Lou. Good morning. Apparently, this has become a major issue in this neighborhood and other surrounding neighborhoods. Take a look. They noticed this one yesterday. Their fire hydrant just completely gone. In fact, 4 fire hydrants in the area of 82nd and Hooper on this block. They don't have a single operating hydrant in case of a fire. Take a look. One was taken last night and the other taken on Thursday. Thieves are turning off the water first and then literally unbolting the fire hydrants and using their vehicles to knock it off and haul it away. And it's not just here. Sheriff deputies told neighbors they've seen the same thing happening in Linwood, where multiple hydrants have been taken there too. In more recent years, there's been an uptick in catalytic converter thefts, copper thefts, and now I guess fire hydrants. Only this is putting the whole neighborhood at risk.
It's beyond annoying. I mean, it's why would you steal a fire hydrant? Like, what are you gonna do with a fire hydrant? Like, it's steel. So what are you, like, making tools or something? What are you making with a fire hydrant? And then where are you taking it? Somebody's gonna notice a giant yellow fire hydrant coming into a recycling center. So it's just, why? And now you have a whole neighborhood of houses that are now in danger because we have no access for our fire department.
So that's a major problem when places get this burned down because this is what they're doing. Yeah, it's all done by design. Yeah, I've still got the numb hands. It sucks. But yeah, that's evil. Hydrant theft. And they're trying to say they're going to go back and put locks on them. And I'm like, you are just stupid. You think a lock is going to stop these fools from doing that? They'll take the lock too. They'll hawk it too. They'll get every bit of money they can for every ounce of weight. But as she says, like, where are you going to take this to? What place? Because they're going to know that it's a fire hydrant. Unless they're in on it. These metal scrapping places. They definitely got someone that's taking them or like buying them from them, or they wouldn't be doing it. Just that simple. This is crazy. So you got some drug kingpin up there, somebody who's just like, well, yeah, you bring me those, and I'll give you what you want. And that's what these dudes are doing. It's just crazy, man. The level the theft is going to these days. Yeah, man. Now it's just knocking off the fire hydrants. All right. Check this one out. You guys for sure have probably heard a lot of talk about all these chips. All the chips out there. And it's a big deal because you've got these chips that are inside the trucks, they're inside the cars, all the vehicles now. And if you don't have them, those vehicles are not going to run. And that's the big thing over Taiwan right now and all these chips and NVIDIA. These chip makers and all that. Well, NVIDIA just released this information at this massive show called Computex. And I'm telling you, they just changed the game. They highlighted the endless possibilities around surrounding artificial intelligence with everything that they do in chips. They unveiled plans here for a brand new AI accelerator chip, signaling a shift from graphic cards over to these new AI chips, which is huge because if they're doing it, this is like the forefront of all of it. Everyone's going to have to follow suit from here, which means everything that's dealing in graphics cards and all that will soon be obsolete. Everything's going to be moving to AI chips. And in March, they unveiled the $70,000 Blackwell B200 GPU chip. It's the world's most powerful AI chip. And on Sunday, their lead dude, their CEO, told an audience at the show about this Rubin AI chip. It's what's called Rubin AI, slated for release in 2026. He says that the new chip will use HBM4. It is the next iteration of the essential high bandwidth memory. It says Wall Street does not understand what's coming. NVIDIA just changed everything that we know about AI at Computech, is what this tweet says. He stresses the companies that fail to embrace AI are going to get left behind. He says companies can only manage the computation inflation of ever-expanding data with AI chips. So this is what everything is shifting to. A whole new breed of chips. This caused their stock to up and jump, inching closer to the $3 trillion valuation mark. And this is going to be new. All the talk and everything that we knew about the chips was built around these graphics chips and cards and things of that nature. So now these AI chips are going to change the game. And they're going to be ran and overseen by AI, which I still don't think people can wrap their head around the full scale of where this can go. All right. Moving on. Boeing entering new territory with a federal probe and possible criminal charges here. I mean, you wonder why multiple people have ended up dead, connected to all this stuff already. But it's not good for Boeing. And this is kind of crazy because all this went into motion around one specific event. Yeah, there's engines catching fire. Yeah, there's planes nosediving out of the sky, and even crashes that have happened. But there's one particular event. January 5th, it's eerie. How close is the 6th? But this is talking about an Alaskan Airlines flight that took off on January 5th. And that's when the door panel ripped off that flight. They say that and this is the kicker, this is where the eyebrows raise. Had the company gone just 2 more days without an incident, it would have satisfied a settlement to avoid criminal prosecution by the DOJ. Instead, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this door flies off on this flight. And now this whole probe ensues. It's like, how easy would it be to send some goon in there to help make that happen right before the time runs out? And now they got him. Now they're saying that the company failed to design and implement and enforce compliance to an ethics program and all this other crap. It's crazy. They're going after Boeing. They're tearing them down. I don't see how they survive it. And they're going to take down one of the biggest airline companies you've ever seen out there. I don't know if this may, well, I'm telling you, you have to find a way to do away also with the technology of airplanes because they're about to be replaced, man. Yeah, anti-gravitics, all the floating stuff has been sitting on that shelf for decades at this point. It's like burning a hole through some of them. They're like, no, we're not getting out of this lifetime without us throwing this out there. I told you earlier, I feel like all this is a 2030 type thing. A whole global thing as well, not just the United States. You're going to be rolling out all this tech, but only the people that bow down are going to be able to enjoy it. And it seems like they're just letting these fall apart, rot, go bye-bye. Yeah. American Airlines, next here. They're warning. All flight attendants need to prepare for a strike. It's going down. It's going down. Just like all the other stage strikes from these unions we've seen. It's all stage circus. Their leadership is being told by the government the same crap. And it's every single time, it's just now a different sector. They've hollowed everything out. They've wiped all the jobs out, all the mom and pop shops. They've brought farms to their knees. Whatever's left, they've gone and burned to the ground. And it's just happening left and right. People just sitting there. Dude, we are under attack. We're being invaded, wiped out, decimated. People just sitting there. Just sitting there. Telling you, when I get back up on the saddle, dude, it's war. Global cocoa shortage here. Much worse than previously forecasted. Of course, a lot of these things got a noose around it. And the market's rigged. And just wait. If it goes down between China and Taiwan, which seems to be one of the major cards on the table, and it looks like it's going to happen, you can expect shipping lanes to tighten up. Everything we were just talking about, chips and all that stuff coming out of Taiwan, oh my. Oh my, oh my. You better hope that you're not getting anything that's getting, I don't care if it's even American made, you better make sure that it's not using parts coming out of China. Other parts of Asia may be okay, but they may not. Just to getting it here across the ocean is going to be difficult. Can't you see what has been happening? The Red Sea shipping lanes we can't even traverse. Major vessels getting missile attacked. Our United States military can't even stop it. It's pathetic. We could do nothing. We could do nothing in the South China Sea. I'm telling you that now. Guys, we're about to enter a major thing. Get ready, man. Get seeds, get food, get greenhouses together, get things, water catchment. I'm going to be dropping a video on that. And yeah, for those who've seen a video posted earlier today on my main channel that got deleted, it wasn't supposed to go public. I think it said June 3rd, didn't even have a title. I meant to upload it private so I could edit it and do all the stuff to it. So that's what that was. It wasn't nothing crazy. I tell you what's crazy, though. Here's another video I did today on this. They finally updated the official numbers here. And Luis, much love, brother. Right back at you. Thank you for the coffees. Appreciate it more than you know. Home water is the best one is home water. I mean, water you collect and clean yourself. Yeah, I would agree there. I say my home water right now ain't the best, but of course, it's off the city here, just like everyone else, unless you're collecting. And I've got a huge system set up that I have to go over with you guys. But in this instance, in this story, this fire broke out last week, this past Wednesday, at an Illinois farm. And this just so happens to be one of the largest free-range chicken facilities in the United States. And it gets attacked. It gets wiped out. A wake up, says Prep and Pray. Hey, salutes. Thank you. Much love. Thank you for the donation. I feel like these are strategic attacks. Everything from our cows down there that got hit to the whole thing on chickens, period, with bird flu, all this stuff that they're coming out, jumping around. We all see it being primed in the atmosphere in all these stories. But this affects the chickens. This affects the eggs big time right here. You should expect to see the price go up from here. Beef is already at a record high. So I'm telling you, this is not good. Millions of chickens. If they're not showing up knocking on people's doors saying, hey, we just tested all your chickens. You need to call. Like all of them. They've got H5, 711, or whatever the hell the next one is. either way you cut it, they're getting wiped out. Like, we are under attack, man. It's like obvious. Who's doing it? That's the big question, right? Thank you, Hoodie Ross. I mean, who's doing it all? I think you're never going to get, unless you catch them red-handed, like, direct names of individuals like that, but I think you can get a sense of where it's coming from, and you don't have to have much, if any more evidence, if you've got, again, any intelligence. Who does it benefit? That's what an investigator would look for immediately. Who does all this benefit? And I think you already knew the answer to that. So there you go. It doesn't matter what agency it tracks back to, but it always goes back to the beast. Wiley, thank you for that super chat there. I appreciate that. Wiley Coyote. Out there, hope all is well. But man, we're in bad shape, guys. Try to keep a positive attitude through all this. But man, oh man, it's just like swimming through sewage. Crap water. I mean, it's just like, this is bad. It's on all fronts. It's not seeming to get any better. So let's keep it pushing. Rubio's Coastal Grill. The latest victim. Remember Red Lobster? Gone. Bye-bye. All these staples that you ever knew in America that made America, are gone. Or going down the toilet right now. It's that bad. So yeah, Rubio's Coastal Grill closing down 48 locations in California due to the Bidenomics and the rising cost of business in the state. This one states a restaurant apocalypse is starting to sweep across America. I mean, I just told you, I've shown you time and time again. This is bad news, no matter how you cut it, no matter how you slice it. Really bad news for the U.S. economy. There's nothing the Biden regime can do at this point to fix any of this. They wiped out all these jobs. I don't see them coming back and helping to restore anything. Surely not. It's a massive setup. Kimberly. Hey, thank you. That's what I do. Much love right back. Thank you for the coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest. They've got this movement going where all of our food is under attack. They want us to go toward no more meat. They're taking out all the businesses, all the places you could ever go sit down and have a good burger or anything that's not fast food. They're trying to wipe all those places out, man. And man, I just don't see by 2030 at this rate where we're going to be. Maybe, we'll see where this year takes us. And Kev Bar says, the city that he lives in, several locally owned restaurants have shut down their doors in the last couple of months. That is scary. He's not the only person to say that in terms of businesses shutting down in their towns. I've heard it out of many different states, man. It's happening in real time. I hate to. At least we're real about it. At least we're facing the fire on it. Calling a spade a spade. Okay, because a lot of others want to turn a cheek to it and ignore it. But the only way that you're going to make it through what's coming, in my opinion, is to realize just how bad it is. Because that's what's going to get you prepared. And being prepared is just having a plan, man. It's just having a plan. Maybe you live in a city where it's going to be chaos. But as long as you got a plan to go somewhere when the time's right, That's what counts. And all my peoples know with me, all the people around me, my family and friends, we're all on the same page with if something goes down. And I'm going to talk about at the end of this some key information that you can use to your advantage to help you survive what's about to go down. I know I keep saying about what some are like, well, what's about to go down? Well, I've only said it a million times. I don't have a crystal ball, but we're coming up on massive events, and I'll get into exactly what those are here as we're going along here. One of those has to do with the economy. I feel that, well, this is all rigged, first and foremost. We know that. And it's all being propped up and staged, puppeteered. They're talking about the economy starting to look more recessionary and all this crap, garbage. Like we're in depression level, the beginning stages of it. They'll never tell you this. They tell people are like in breadlines. Even then, they're probably like, oh, they're talking about depression, but that's just a conspiracy theory. They gaslight you so bad. You just got to look at the data. Look at your pocketbook. Look at everything on the shelves everywhere. We're in a bad position. And things are getting wiped out, like I just got done telling you. Dollar General is about to eliminate a vast majority of self-checkout due to the soaring theft. Just to add to everything. I told you they're stealing, chopping down the telephone poles, they're taking the fire hydrants. They're stealing everywhere, everything. It's like you almost have to have some armed security or like a bouncer sitting at the door. But then you've got to be in a non-commie state to be able to deal with it. If you're in a commie state, they'll throw your bouncer in jail for putting hands on them, which is garbage. You're in a state like mine, you can get them right there at the door. You'll see Granny clotheslining them. See, when that happens, it deters them from doing it again. And you don't see that crap. The major crap that you see in other places, like you don't see in other areas. Like, there's poor areas and rich areas all over the place. But like, even in the poor areas, say around me, you don't see people running out and doing that crap. You don't. You just don't. People depend on them, on those stores, and it's just a different animal. Yeah, I hate the Dollar Generals, dollar stores too. I think there's too many of them. All in all, I've talked about the issues with them before, all the junk food and unhealthy crap and just creating diabetes all across the board, ticking time bomb. But, yeah. Yeah, man. So check this one out. All of a sudden, hedge funds are dumping Chinese stocks at the fastest pace in almost a year. This could be indicative of saying, hey, something's about to go down, and they don't want to get caught holding them. Because if the United States government, for instance, comes out and says, if we're at war, then like you won't be able to do these things. You see what I'm saying? You won't be able to trade Chinese stocks or buy them or this, that. They'll stop that. Just like they'll put tariffs and all this other crap. When we're at a major war, it's going to be a major war. But these markets, man, the markets are like wild. Like, it's one thing if we're pumping and dumping crypto, right? Like, heavily. It's like a normal thing these days. But, like, for the stock market to be pumped and dumped is starting just to show how they can air it out. And this GameStop thing, if you're missing it, it's showing just that. It's showing that this one guy who goes by the name of Roaring Kitty, his name's Keith Gill, he's been pumping, so to speak, this whole thing and getting people involved in like these meme stocks this whole time. Well, GameStop, which was a failing stock and business, so to speak, what they found out is all these big dogs were going in And I said this before. This is the key to the game. This is what's bringing a lot of this stuff down. They're going in. They're investing into stocks. Into like GameStop. They know the company's falling apart and they're shorting it. That's their investment. They're shorting it. Then they literally get into the company, get involved with the company if they can, and they try to tear it down to the floor the best they can. That is illegal. But this is what they're doing. Because you can't do it. You can't force people to come and buy and pump the stock in this manner. But you can go in behind the scenes and help to quietly bring it down if nobody's looking. And you're benefiting and profiting, getting rich the whole way. You're in there destroying this company. But you're getting rich doing it. That's what they're doing. So they are literally going in company by company and doing this. Well, guess what? Keith Gill caught on to this. And what he did is he went in, he wiped out the shorts. They went in, they were like, we're going to raise so much money that we're going to wipe out their shorts and put them in the hole where they get called and they lose their tail big time. And in the process, he made a lot of money. Well, he's been doing this again and again, and he's done it again. He made a $180 million bet this time, and he pumps this. Now, you do not enter on these tips. The word of caution. You do not buy the hype. Look at this. You do not buy up here. You don't do it, dude. Okay? This isn't the time to do it. I'm telling you now. That's a warning. If you bought it any time down here up to May 1st and you entered into this anywhere into here, that was the time to have been in. And if somebody was in this, no doubt, they just, where was this sitting? Between 20 and 25, and it jumped up to almost 50. So for some people, they doubled their money in this, just sitting in it, easily. If they exited, or they could still be sitting in it and be double their money, depending on when they got in. But if you get in now, chances are, it's not going to do much from here. They never do. They make the news, they pumped, they're way up there, and then they dump when no one's looking. And usually while you're sleeping. But with stocks are a different animal. The stocks that close at the end of the day when the market closes, that's a different animal. Crypto never closes. That's the wild thing about it. You see? So, what also happens here is check this out. And I don't believe in coincidences. Something was going on in the markets today. And some are saying, yo, Kitty could be a Fed. We just never know. If you ever get any paperwork or any proof, I'd love to see it. Anyhow, check this out. A bunch of stocks start dumping out 100% today. This was nuts. One of them was Berkshire. And people were like, what is going on? Stock after stock after stock after stock just started going down. Right here, you can see, boom. It started with Berkshire. FJB, you got that right. Uncommon, good to see you, my brother. Thank you for that. Much love. Hope all is well. Make sure to check out Uncommon News, guys. He's down there near the border in Texas. But look, Barrick Gold, it got halted. Look at that. The gold, the symbol, gold, GOLD, it in itself hit. I had people hitting me up like they were trying to buy this dip, but it wouldn't let them. Of course, they weren't going to let you. They ain't never going to let the small dogs get on stuff like this. They always pull stuff just like this. For those of you that are not in the game, that don't do stocks, that don't do stuff like this is what happens. When huge moves happen, glitches end up happening. Freezes, where the everyday Joe can't get their money out or make their trade, but the big dogs can. It didn't keep jumping out right in front of your face. You keep hitting the sell button, nothing's working, They got you. It's like clockwork. They do it every time, man. It's a scam. All of it is a scam. All of it. All of it. I'm telling you, all of it. So they say now these technical issues have been resolved and all systems are operational. Yeah. Now, when it's too late, everything's already dumped out. It's too late. Dumped out to a point where you might as well just buy more. Buy the dip, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. That's what's so pathetic about the stuff. And check this out. Listen. Top of the hour. Much love to everybody out there. Shout outs to all the pure bloods. I want to thank everyone that shares this dream. Get it out there in front of people that I can't reach. If you need to reach me, dabu7@yahoo.com. I'm going to load up a chest here real quick for everyone on DLive. Open it. I do appreciate all the love, support, no matter how you do it, and the prayers. Much love the warrior out there as well. All right. Give me just 1 second here. Actually, 15 more seconds. We'll let this chest open, give some shout outs, and we're going to dive into what I think is the big event. The financial economic event here that is going to bring everything down. Alf, Adam, Steve, Jay Winch, Galra. Much love to all you guys. So, all of a sudden, there is $517 billion, $500 billion in unrealized losses hitting the U.S. banking system. This is huge. $500 billion. The FDIC is warning. This is fresh. That 63 lenders are on the brink of insolvency. Meaning if they could fold up at any moment, it's done. 63. When this begins, it is over. It's over. It's over. I just don't never get it. Judah, I just don't get it. I think it's pretty obvious that you can't eat gold. The people that show up saying that you can't eat gold, like, what are you, a gold hater or something? No doubt. Use the gold to go buy food. or have other things to barter. But I've got to also correct you there. You can eat gold and silver in nano form. And some of our cats out there, like JJ and others, they specialize in colloidal stuff like that. And that's real deal. So, you're actually wrong. I'm not trying to be a prick about it or nothing like that. I'm just saying. Crown Jewels in the house. Tetragrammaton checking in. Oh, man. Much love. Good to see Pikeville. Kathy, check this out. I feel that this is probably what's going to happen. All right? This is my best guess at what's about to happen here. This is about as big of a warning as you're going to get. Of course, no one cares. This doesn't get people excited. Most people are going to blow right past this headline. But I'm telling you what, when these lender banks start to fold like this, what's going to happen is this. One Monday morning, it's going to begin. Okay? And we're not going to be able to get money out of the bank. And I was talking to Spiro about this. Because I really think that this is the move. I think that this is the move right here. They need a crisis. That's it. They've got the wallets in the banks. The banks got the wallets to give to you. And all this for CBDC. They just need a crisis because they know everyone wants to reject it. So they need a crisis. And for a crisis that's so bad that people will have to take it. So imagine, and this isn't far-fetched. This is very real, realistic. And I think the odds of it happening are very high. And I think that this is it. I think we wake up one day, called Monday, and it begins. And these banks start to go down. And then what happens is people start to try to get money out of the bank, and they're not going to be able to do it. Immediately, you're not going to be able. This is how you're going to know it's begun. Is this right here. When you immediately cannot get cash out of ATMs, you can't get it out of banks anywhere, and you start hearing it and seeing it on social media, large scale. Okay? When you see this moment happen, know without a doubt in your heart that it's begun. That you're living in the beginning of what I call the financial 9/11. And it's going to be simple. You're not going to be able to get your money out. A whole week's going to go by, or more, give or take. And your government's going to come back out on the following Monday or so, and they're going to say, we don't know how long this is going to go on for. You can either try to ride it out, knowing that rent's past due, bills need paid, landlord's knocking on the door, or you can take this emergency CBDC that we're going to issue, and it will be accepted everywhere, just like a US dollar. Because they've made it that way. The whole infrastructure. It's already there. It is all there. All the banks got the wallets. It's already in your account. Just sitting there. Already pre-made. Digitized. In every bank form. So, all they got to do is have a crisis. It's a pretty simple one. Lock up all the cash for a week or more, or whatever. And droves of people aren't even going to blink an eye. They're going to be like, what do you mean? What's a wallet? Okay, so you're telling me there's money on there? And they're not going to be able to differentiate the difference between the trap, a CBDC that's tracking your every move, and a fiat US dollar. They're not going to be able to see it. And they're just going to take it, thinking it's all one and the same. It buys them goods. They're not going to know the difference, and they're going to run with it. And this is it. They took the bait. Just like a fish taking a hook, line, and sinker and running with it. Running with the line until they set that hook in them. And then they're done. You'll never get off it. They're done. Do you understand what's about to happen? They're going to force the hand of all the people around you. So even if you hold out, we hold out. Purebloods and those against the beast hold out. All these goons around us are not. That's what education is all about. That's why all this knowledge and doing what we do has been so important all this time. And not sitting there keeping your mouth shut. It's fighting this fight. Getting knowledge into the people's brains, man. Let them know that this is a trap before it's too late. Because once the tide turns, and the overwhelming majority accepts this, it's over. Then every single person that didn't and don't accept it, you're an outcast. Do you see? You're the black sheep. You're the one that's wanted at that point. And they'll outlaw everything else. That is their chance. Confiscate it. They'll take it all back in. Yep. Or just keep it shut down pretty simply for a month or whatever. Imagine 2 months. Imagine all the way up through this election. Talk about throwing a wrench in things. You know, the crisis happens within the next 6 months, or what? Or what? I don't know. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. It's anybody's guess, but my best guess is that if you get Trump, they'll bring the whole thing down on him. Something huge will happen on his watch. I've always had that feeling. I don't know, man. I don't know that Biden makes it to this election. Health-wise, all he's got to do is have one bad day, and they pull him. And I told you this before. The DNC has emergency measures where a dark horse can enter the picture. And this dark horse can enter the picture if Biden gets ill. It's like the only way. It's like the way. If he just falls to anything, that's it. He's in the hospital for whatever, pneumonia, this thing, and he's incapacitated. They announce it. It's enough to pull him out of the race. They can pull their emergency voting measures through the DNC, just their inner core picks, and they'll bring the dark horse out. As we've talked about Big Mike this whole time, or whoever. It's going to be Gavin, whoever, or whatever. That's the scariest thing, if you ask me. Because if they do that, guaranteed, you're getting that person, whoever it is. And I don't know. People are short-sighted. Maybe you forgot. Trump packed stadiums last time and overwhelmed everything last time. And they still gave you Joe Biden. What's changing that? What's changing them from... Why would they just relinquish power is how I feel about it. Like, why? The people did nothing. They've done nothing. I think a whole bunch of people out there were waiting for this moment to get Trump back and to say, okay, we rode it out. We made it through it. But what you gonna do if you don't get Trump? What you gonna do when they just don't stop? All right, I ain't even to the politics yet. Before I get out of the financials here, Louisiana, the latest on the list to reaffirm gold and silver as legal tender. So, but a lot of the country has done this. Louisiana being the latest. You know, you don't want all gold, all silver. You don't want all anything. You want, do you want all your eggs in one basket? No. You want a variety of things. And as I said on the last stream, it's all about your community. It's all about what people around you are willing to barter for and trade for. If they don't want gold, or they don't want bullets, or they don't want tomatoes, you're going to have a problem. You need to know what they want, what they're willing to trade for. Top of the list, that's where I'd start. Thank you, tacos. Now, did FDR really confiscate gold? Well, in essence, yeah. There's no short answer to it, but what he did was on April 5th, 1933, he signed Executive Order 6102. And he justified the move based on the Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917, as amended by the Emergency Banking Act in March of 1933. So, in the midst of this, we were in the Great Depression, right? So everything was economically troublesome. So if we were to ever see that again, we'd have to be in an economic crisis. One, like I just explained to you, a derived one. Cyber attack banks, can nobody get their money out? So they're issuing CBDC. But the whole economy starts to come down, the effects of all this, and there's no other way. It's going to be tough times, rough times. The only way to actually get everybody on board with the CBDC, I feel, is to back it by gold. Will they do that? a lot of analysts and even the gold guys that I follow say that that's what they're going to do because that's what they have to do. Because if you understand the dynamics of this whole Monopoly game, the way it's always been set up, they always knew that that the whole money printing thing would fall. I mean, just look back at Rome in the same instance and everything that happened there. Now it's our turn. We're going down the same path, almost like by design. And they took us, we never knew real money. We've never known it. We've always operated off of these dollar bills we all work for. Monopoly money. It used to be you could trade them in and get the gold equivalent for it, but they took that away a long time ago. But see, to get people to accept a nothing, which is what a dollar was in the beginning, the only reason people accepted the dollar is because it was backed by gold. That's the only reason. And then they debased that over time. The percentage that you got out of every dollar drop. And then they eventually, same with the silver in circulation, they took out more and more of it. And ever since lockdowns, they've been taking back all the change, all the pure silver, all the pure copper has been sucked out and siphoned out of the system, and just leaving all the crappier coinage. If you even can find coinage anywhere, most places aren't even kicking out coinage anymore. In most places, it's they've done it right in front of us these past few years, and they're going to continue down this route. Now, you guys remember what I told you about the Great Reset hasn't even happened yet? What hasn't? Man, Dub J, man, thank you for the coffees. You got that. Much respect. Thank you for the coffees, my brother. And just, James, man, much love, brother. We got to hook up in the flesh, man. We have a get-together conference, man. Just, we got to hook up. I don't know what's going to happen this year, but, man, like in terms of a get-together with people, it's definitely not Vegas, but I am aiming for Vegas spring of next year. That's the goal for conference. As long as everything goes smooth, that would be the goal, so people know, for all my West Coast cats. I'd like to cover the RNC. I don't know if I'm going to get to. I just don't know, man. I've been financially rocked this whole past year, and I'm in the midst of having to sell my house, all this other crap, man. Like, see, it depends on how the stars align, man. It's been rough times, and I'm hoping to try to get over that and get back in the saddle. All right. If things aren't chaotic enough at the border for you here with cartels and invaders coming across, it's getting really messed up down there in Mexico. Well, they just had the polls close yesterday on people voting for mayor down in Santo Domingo, Armenta. And one of the people that was running was murdered right after the polls closed. I don't know what the polls ended up reading, if he won or not, or any of that. But they just kicked down his door and went in and murdered him right there. I mean, if you're going up against this beast, you've got to be prepared. You've got to have security, especially if you're going to be in these positions. And the people, man, you got to protect your chosen ones. If you've got a leader, you've got to protect them. And it's just got to be that way from here on out. They're sitting ducks, if not, man. I mean, this stuff is turning like Colombia or something. I mean, Mexico's getting crazy. It has been. Yeah, there's parts you can go down into that aren't as bad. But, man, other parts are like no-go areas. I even have Mexican buddies and friends that tell me that with family down there, they won't even go into certain areas. Just because of all that. They don't know what's going to happen. Like, you just try to go into a certain area, and you got to check in with armed people and all this stuff. Like, just to get into the area. It's just nuts, man. So, and look at this. Mexico elects a leftist, Claudia Sheinbaum. You're telling me that Mexico just went this route? They say that she wins in a landslide, making her the first woman to enter the country's highest office, as well as the first Jewish person. Some are saying right there that she was, I looked up at the word right there, handpicked. Yeah, oh, took it right out of my mouth. Aren't most leaders, aren't they all puppets? You know? Even, what is that Malay? Everyone was like, oh, Malay at Argentina. Like he's some rock star. Like, screw that dude. Where'd he go first? He went and got his Jesuit orders and went and met Netanyahu. First. Shows you the allegiance right there. Dub J. Thank you for the 10 coffees, man. Respect, brother. So, I don't know. Some people are just like, there's no way. Like, hitting me up. I don't know if people sent me an email were Mexican or not, but they were like, they're in Mexico, talking about this. Not happy. I mean, everybody feels all these elections are rigged. I mean, this may be tantamount to what we went through. They hand you Joe Biden. And as far left of a character, establishment character, as they can find. And that's what Mexico's got now. So, on to Trump. All the polls are showing a post-conviction increase in support for Trump. Man, all these felons out there relating to him now. Convicted felons saying, I'm voting for him now. First convicted felon president. All this other stuff. People that were on the fence. They were even against him on the other side. Actors like Dennis Quaid and others that were never going to vote for him said because of what they did here, weaponized the system against him, they're voting for him. Which is crazy. And imagine all this. It's like a landslide you're talking. Imagine this, landslide type stuff. But you still don't get him. Like, what will people do then? Nothing. Well, after Trump runs for 4 more years, it's done. They give you Trump. They try to bring the house down on him on his watch. I mean, what are you going to do? What are all the Trumpers going to do out there after those 4 years are up? He can't run again after that. That'll be 8 total that he gets in. I mean, right? I mean, this is I'm interested to see who he picks for Vice here. Vice is going to be some stuff. Imagine Donald Trump runs for president, wins from the jail cell. He's in it. And his Vice is running things till he's out. We don't even know who that could be. Huh? How about that one? Huh? Could it happen? Yeah, it could happen. Because just having a felony can't stop you from being president at all. So there's like very few things. Like you have to be over 35. You got to be living here for over 14 years and all this other stuff. But nothing pertaining to if you're a felon, you can't run. So, yeah, man. So Rand Paul is now warning. He feels there's going to be war in the streets coming from this verdict. And I'm kind of like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't see it right now. Like, wouldn't people be out there right now doing something? Or like, are you telling me I mean, like, where's it at? Where are they at? I mean, I understand what he's saying here. People being ticked off. But no one's doing it right now. No one's doing anything. War in the streets? What's going to happen July 11th? What's going to happen July 11th? 4 days before the RNC. Where they have to have their vice rolled out by then. Their vice pick. What is going to happen here? Well, Rand is saying that he expects war in the streets. How that's going to unravel? Trump and Rikers Island. I could see all the baddest members protecting him. Stealth mode. Dude, I'm telling you, it's kind of like a circus show. It's like a show. I'm telling you, this whole thing. And like Trump he doesn't even have a problem with it. And this is what I don't get and never got this whole time. From all this. That's why I call it how it is, man. Here, I got one. Let me keep going here. I got a clip that I want to play. Mar. If Trump goes to jail, there will be a racial civil war. Racial, huh? I don't buy that one either. I just don't buy it. Unless you know something that we don't. And there's going to be some big massacres staged using certain races and all this crap, which still you're going to... I don't see the racial card working. It never has. Trump has support of all colors, shapes, and sizes. I mean, get out of here. The racial thing is just get out of here. Like, it just doesn't work. It never has. A civil war? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. But in terms of the colors and the races, nah. Maybe, yeah, if you want to say it's going to be us fighting Chechens and Chinese invaders in that term, but it's not going to be like black on white. Get out. Ain't never. It just ain't happening. Or Mexican on white, none of it. We're too hip to this. There's too much. We're ingrained in this together, man. My whole team's of different colors. All my friends, family, all of it. Like, I mean, get out of here. It ain't going to work. Period. This isn't back in the day or whatever. No, it's now, dude. It's a different day. And, you know, us purebloods, we all come, like I said, different shapes, sizes, colors. That's the way it is. So here we go. I want to play this. Trump discusses the possibility of prison and says that the conviction has been very hard on Melania, of all people. I just want to play this clip because he says he's okay with it. He's unfazed by potential prison or house arrest. So notice they've done house arrest out there. That is a big possibility. Potential prison. Okay, so he says, I'm okay with it. I just don't see how you can say that in this position. Would not be okay with it. No one. But, you know, when everything's set up a certain way here. Let me play this.
The arraignment date for 4 days before the RNC.
Yeah, well, that's part of the game.
It is. Some have suggested you could appeal straight to the Supreme Court because of the special nature of this case. When it comes to the legal maze that you're still facing, and the judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail. How do you face what that could look like?
I'm okay with it. I saw one of my lawyers the other day on television saying, oh, no, you don't want to do that to the president. I said, you don't beg for anything. You just, the way it is. Think of it. They have all my books. You know, they went for 5 years, they sued me getting my tax returns, right? At the end of 5 years, they got them. The Supreme Court actually gave it to them. That was the end of it. That was it. They never found anything. They hired the best accounting firms. I had a pure gold firm. They call it a gold-rated firm. I don't know, it's supposed to be. Who knows? But with all that stuff, for years you heard about my tax.
They never looked into the Clinton Foundation.
And they never found it. They never went all the way with the Clinton Foundation. They never went all the way with the Clinton Foundation, which is sort of interesting, isn't it? But
yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I just wanted you to hear the piece, and we already blew past it. Where he says, I'm okay with it." He's okay with it, and like, I don't know. To me, we'll see how this whole thing shakes out, I guess. But Trump, all this talk about banning TikTok because of the Chinese. Well, it's like, which is it? You gonna ban it because of the Chinese or all this crap? Trump joins TikTok, gets 3.1 million followers in 24 hours. So they can tap into reaching the younger audience. And as soon as I heard those words, I'm like, I myself, I said this earlier, and this is a double-edged sword. I've refrained from even using TikTok because of how I feel about the CCP and the Chinese government. Ultimately, the government that's sending men here that I feel are trained to take us out. And you all see this one day in the future. But I take that to heart. And, our governments are all in bed together. It's just how it is. If they were truly a threat like that, then why join it? But Trump joins it anyway. Like I said, I'm all over TikTok. I'm all over there with clips of me. I see it all the time. People send it to me, clips with my voice and all that. And I'm just like, I start thinking like, why don't I just do it and air it out over there? See, I operate different though. All these other people are about plastering their biometrics out there, which is what I feel they're trying to get. All your facial expressions and all that, because all these people are putting out videos on TikTok of them just sitting there, looking at the screen and pointing at a video like mine with my voice playing. And they're just sitting there pointing at it, like raising their eyebrows. Like, listen, it's like, I could have taken all this information without having to look at you. But why did this trend happen? It happened so they could trace all of everyone's biometrics and all your features, all your emotions, all of everything they got. And I'm worried about it the whole time. But, I guess only the super wise will listen to that. But I would want to just utilize TikTok if I ever did, just like as I'm doing now, to spread the knowledge and the truth. And I don't know, to do it myself, I get sick of seeing people ripping me off, like ripping off my work, and like it's getting posted there anyway. So it's like, let the real just step in and do it. It's almost where I'm at with it. I don't know. Again, double-edged sword. Really don't care for the platform, but the one thing that did intrigue me was being able to reach the youth. Because that's where it's at. That's what this battle's about. It's the one thing they will not let me do nowhere. It's a goose egg on YouTube. And mature audiences, even over OD Live, permanently. It makes no sense. They will not let me reach the youth. They're afraid of it. They are afraid of it. Don't want this knowledge. That's the biggest and the best thing you could ever do. Is sharing my videos and my streams with the youth, with the younger generation, with someone younger that you know. It's the biggest thing you could ever do. To get these seeds going, planted in their minds, young, is where it's at. If they can get this information when they're, 18, 19, 20, 21, that's amazing. Versus late 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever it is. Wake them up now. That's half the battle, huh? So Trump definitely isn't lacking support. Trump has raised a staggering $200 million since Thursday's conviction. So it was like 50-some million, and it's like quadrupled. that is raised over 200 million on this. So yeah, the support's there. You definitely don't see anyone else doing that, pulling in numbers like that. What's old record-breaking numbers Biden doing? Huh? Huh? See? Let's see some of them numbers. Of course, they got goons like George Soros and company over there backing the other side. And see, when George Soros, who's very old right now, finally and eventually passes away, Alex Soros, his son, is going to take over everything. He already is. He's giving him the reins. And look at this. Alex Soros gives the Dems a propaganda blueprint for convicted felon Trump. And what he's saying, he's like, every chance you get, anytime you bring it up, anytime you mention his name, you call him convicted felon. And you repeat it, and you repeat it, and you repeat it, and you repeat it. This piece of. I tell you what, if there's a wanted board, you just don't even understand the level of evil of this individual and where he will take it for all the rest of your days that you're alive, and even into your kids. This one, right here. Keep sleeping. So the U.S. Secret Service, they react to Trump's criminal conviction, and they say that the outcome from the verdict has no bearing in the manner in which they carry out their protective mission. But what happens when he goes to jail, if he goes to jail? Huh? Where's the Secret Service then? Sitting outside of a cell the whole time? I mean, this has never happened before. Would there be special agents sitting there allowed to go in and sit there to protect him at his cell the whole time to make sure he's not Epsteined? Huh? Huh? Go pull Machiavelli. The world is a stage, man. This is a wild one. And that's all I can say is get ready. Secret Service saying they're going to do everything they can. But again, what can you do if they take him into their possession, away from you, okay, and stick him somewhere? What are you going to do to protect him then? Huge questions. And look at this. Look what the mainstream news outlets are pushing through Yahoo and NBC and all this. Look how they word this stuff. False right-wing reports about Trump trial jury and the instructions fuel threats against the judge. So what's the basis of this whole thing? They're trying to say that people on the right and Trump supporters are pushing lies, and those lies are responsible for threats on the life of this judge. So now it's your fault, Trump supporters. You're peddling crap that led to this. That's how they're painting a picture. So if anything happens to this judge, anything, even if it's staged or whatever, guess what's going to happen? Guess who they're going to point the finger at? Already seeding it in there. Saying that they were spreading false information, all this. Dude, it's such. They need their day in court as well. That's part of the problem here. They're just a mouthpiece, a propaganda mouthpiece for the government at this point. All these outlets. And 3/4 of U.S. voters saying that the country's out of control under Biden. Dude, that's a lot. That's a crazy amount. That's a crazy amount. A whopping 3/4 of voters say that we're out of control. we're on the wrong track. I mean, how do you get reelected when polls state this? He looks like he just dumped in his pants and his. I mean, half the time he looks like this. He's got this stupid look on his face. And I swear sometimes it seems like it's a dude in a mask. But look at this one. The pro-Palestinian group. This is basically BLM 2.0. It's all backed by Soros and company again. The same pro-Palestinian group that went to all these colleges, went to a UK military facility and cut the cables, which is crazy. And I'm like, all right, was that all these little girls that were running around on the campuses? Or is this where you send all the guys? Like, what's going on here? Well, now these groups are going to be protesting and surrounding the White House this week. This may be a huge event because, I mean, they're telegraphing it. Get on a bus to D.C. is what they're calling this. And I think they're trying to paint the picture as to where just everyday people are hopping on a bus and riding to D.C. That's garbage. They are always paid protesters that are bussed in every time. I've been doing this for a long time, dude. I've been to D.C. I don't know how many times, telling you. I've been to so many events that are supposed to be million-man marches, million mask marches, Operation Springs. I've been all this crap. And you get up there, and it's a dud every time. Million-man what? Nothing. Ain't never happened. It's garbage. And every single time there's anybody that shows up, they're all holding signs and in groups and all trained, getting off buses together. I filmed them coming off the buses. It's pathetic. From Ferguson to Baltimore to DC. It's ridiculous. I expect the same. So this pro-Palestinian stuff, they're going to be hitting the DNC and the RNC big time. Okay, look at this one. Queers for Palestine clash with the Pride Parade in the streets of Philadelphia. This is crazy. In Philadelphia, two factions from the left go at it. I show the video here. They probably try to strike it for some violence or some crap. But they get into it. Talk about comical. So yeah, I mean, they're two major sides can't even get along. They start going at it in the streets there. And it's just like, okay, you're going to stomp each other out. And look at this. I warned you about the DNC in Chicago. The mayor not even wanting to help with anyone for security. Not wanting to help with the police. Nothing. It's a setup. Did you know in 1968 that the DNC was held in Chicago and it was like the same exact type of atmosphere? It was an anti-war type of atmosphere. The same thing we see now with this group that's on the ground. And the difference here between BLM and this group is not afraid to shout down the Democratic leader or Joe Biden in this case either. So it seems like they're being unleashed to this cause havoc on both sides. So they're saying here now, warning, Chicago watchdog group says the city is unprepared for what is about to hit them, like a hurricane. They say that the police shortage in the city alone is alarming. They're down 2,000 officers. They can't find enough that wants to work in this madness. The gang's sweeping the city left and right. And I tell you, I salute the gangs at least holding down, everyone's different, at least holding down their turf against these migrants because they're the only ones in the country I've seen do it yet. Hand them their ass and send them packing. That you ain't from here, you ain't coming up in here. And when you represent a certain way, your neighborhood or your area, they won't even enter it. And that's how it needs to be honest with you, from here, because the enemy's everywhere, like a Trojan horse. They're here by the millions. So they're calling it right now that Chicago is going to be out of control. Okay. We heard about the Trump stuff and the jury. I wanted to update that the jury selection begins in the Hunter Biden gun trial. Okay? Now, all they got to do is prove that he was under the influence when he bought this gun, this Colt Cobra revolver, October 12th, 2018. They're saying he knowingly made a false and fictitious written statement because on it he checked that he was not addicted to any drugs or anything like that. And they're saying that they don't have to prove that he was high when he bought the thing. All they got to do is prove that he had an addiction. And he dropped YouTube videos like an idiot. I mean, who does this crap? Who drops videos of themselves smoking crack and all this other crack? Who does it? It's the stupidest stuff in the world. He did it. And that right there is going to be used against him. And, he got a sweetheart deal in terms of all the IRS tax evasion stuff. So we'll see where all this stuff goes. And if this gets swept under the rug while all this big time Trump stuff's going on. I find it very funny and interesting, quite coincidental timing, don't you think, that all this stuff with Trump's going down big time. And then over here, while no one's really paying attention, this begins with him. And I believe it's probably going to go through quietly as much as possible. This isn't a mainstream article over here talking about this. The mainstream seemingly trying to stay away from all that. All right. Shift gears here. Let's take it around the globe here. This last handful of articles. We are sending these Minuteman III ICBM missiles, launching them next week in this series of tests, and they are sending them from Southern California right out into, this is one of the most interesting areas in the ocean there, right over this neck of woods from Vandenberg Space Force Base. These are two separate tests of unarmed, they're saying unarmed intercontinental ballistic missiles from there. And they're going to send them, shoot them all the way out to right here on the map. So they're going to shoot them out over Hawaii and into this region. And this is also the same region they had all the airspace shut down before because they said this Russian rocket thing was going down. Just to throw that out there. And when it comes to Ukraine made one of the biggest moves yet by going in and attacking Russia's early warning system for its nukes. And the question arises, did they do this on their own, or did they do this with U.S. approval? Dude, come on. I think it's safe to say every single thing that's going on with them is being manipulated by the West. Every single thing. Come on, all the money going there, everything. All the weaponry, everything. Like, get out of here. Act like they're not involved. This is bad because now that they're striking Russia on Russia's turf, Russia's done said anyone that's involved is open to get hit. Anyone involved open to get hit. That means us. Means a lot of places. A lot of NATO members out there. Okay, so we're hell-bent on this war, it seems. And it doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. But something I mentioned before that I don't think we want to see escalate, that I think is going to escalate, is a China-Taiwan conflict. What this is going to mean for semiconductors, chips, gold, all this is a lot. When this war pops off, as this says right here, staying in cash is dangerous. Accumulating government bonds is reckless. But rejecting gold is denying the reality of money. They're saying that if they make this move, it's on. There's not much the United States is going to be able to even do to stop it. That they can do it in a day or so, and they believe it's coming. The world's a stage, man. That's why they call them theaters of war. Just remember we talked about this over and over. And looky here. Dude, if you're not convinced that the United States is like done, and they've decimated us, well, just look, we're smoked on the world stage. Any war broke loose, we're done. We're done. Look at the forces. We have 2.1 million troops in the United States, right? Ukraine has more troops. This should tick you off. Ukraine, that's getting decimated. And like, they don't even have enough troops to send to slaughter. They're like trying to get them from France and all these other places. They've got 2.2 million troops. They've got more than us. It's crazy. China has 3.2. Russia has 3.6. Can you believe Russia has actually more troops than China? China has a lot of people, but militarily, the troop count is different. It's a different reality. Vietnam, can you believe Vietnam has 5.8 million troops? People been sleeping on this. India, 5.1. So, dude, Vietnam and India, I mean, dude, if they jumped on our side of the war, that'd be a different story. That would even some things up for sure. But who's to say anybody comes to the rescue at this point? 'Cause China, and North Korea, and Russia, and all them, Iran, Pakistan, all these guys are all on one team. They've got over 10 million, 11, 12 million together right there. 12 million. How do we compete against that with 2 million? Well, they're saying again that our chemical facilities are vulnerable to attack. So I told you we have the potential for hacks on the banks to freeze them up and to put this crisis into motion. We've seen them attack our water sources. They're messing with the chemicals inside the water companies and the buildings, the levels of chemicals and fluoride and all this other stuff, manipulating them. It's very dangerous. They're able to hack all these things. The grid itself, let's say. So, another warning being put out in terms of this. And I wanted to point out, I wanted to finish here tonight with a little bit of talk about getting prepared for this. Okay? This is a crazy time. You know, we spent years always trying to be prepared for whatever they're going to throw at us, because you never know what's going to happen or when. All you can do is be prepared the best to your ability. And if you're prepared for the worst and you get to that point, well, then you're good from there. The whole goal is to try to get to that point. And I'm sure everyone out there can always use some improvements. Okay? One thing's for sure. Communications in war is something that is always taken out first. Okay? Comms, always attacked first. It always goes down first. With this whole banking thing, cyber attacks and all this, how this whole thing shakes out. If cell phones go down like they did, like we thought they were running beta runs here not too long ago when all the cell phone networks were going down, they very well could have been. If your cell phone network goes down and you don't have a backup plan, you're kind of done. And I think it'd be wise to have a plan in case that happens. Cyber attacks take them down, or they're down for whatever reason, CME, whatever. You've got a plan. Well, I bring up these specific myemergencyradio.com radios right here because they're kind of cheap, they're worth the money, and I want to go over some rules here, some things to let you know what's up. There's more expensive ones out there. I've seen other ones that were like $400. They run off the LTE network. But hold on. Why would you want those if they run off the LTE SIM card cell phone network? Why? If that whole network's down, you're done. The one way we've known that has always worked, always, in this, because it's got its own infrastructure set up, is ham radio. Okay? Hear this out. Hear this out. These ham radios, these new ones here, are compact. These My EMR ones, they're only $70. Okay? They do not run on the cell phone network. Okay? And here's the thing. Okay? When it comes to ham radio, there's rules about licensing and all that. With these, it is military-grade technology, legal to own with no FCC license required. These are ham radios, which are professional grade, used by law enforcement, military, and more. And you can listen on the radios with no FCC license required. Okay? These are for emergency. Are you listening to me? What do the rules say? The rules state that even those without an FCC license may legally transmit on a ham radio in the event of a national emergency or emergency. So there it is. That's the only reason you got them for. You ain't got it for talking on the weekends or, hey, how you doing? That's not it. It's to have it for an emergency, a grid down, cell phone down across the country. Emergency. And this right here fixes the problem. Thanks, Mom. So, 100% American-owned business right there running these. Anyhow, hey, all the confusion, all the talk out there, oh, you got to have this, you got to have that, you can't do this, you can't do whatever. You can have one of these, get your whole family one in different locations. That's the whole point. If you're hundreds of miles away on different sides of the country, these ham radios will still work because they got their own infrastructure set up for it. So this is good. What is the website? It's myemergencyradio.com. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Here is the link on DLive. So DLive, YouTube, just drop the link in the chat. No, it's not some affiliate link or nothing like that. No, this is. I had to do some major research for a family member on these, on a couple different sets, and when looking into them thoroughly, come to find out that all the rest of them are running off of cell phone network, and people would have been stuck like Chuck in the dark if they went that route. This was the best deal. Again, no, you can't talk back and forth, but you can listen in on all these channels. But in an emergency, you can use them, and that's what counts. It's the whole reason you're getting them. And you can legally do so. So kill the confusion. You won't get in trouble if you use them when it all goes down. So there's different options out there, but that's just another one I want to throw out there for you guys. That brings me to a close here on this one. I look to be back on Wednesday with more. Another show right here, same place, same time. Although I've got a question here as I exit. Would folks prefer? I'm gonna have to bounce back and forth on these chats. Would folks prefer an 8 o'clock start to the show versus 9, or do you guys like the 9 that I've been rolling with for quite some time? Let me know if there's some 8s, 9s. It's all Eastern time. I know you're in different time zones, but for my time zone, 8 or 9. Just curious. Some 9s rolling in. 9, a lot of 9s. A lot of 9s. 9's taking the cake right now. Okay, so, all right. 9's fine. A lot of 9s. 8 here, Miss Angie says. Sorry, Miss Angie, you're getting bulldozed here by 9s. Okay. A lot of 9s. Just a few 8s. I respect it all. I asked because I had some people ask about the whole 8, but as soon as the majority like it, Eon, thank you, and prayers right back to you. Thank you for the coffees and the support. I can't thank all of you guys enough, man, for the support. It's appreciated more than you know, especially in these tough times, rough times, man. Yeah, man, I appreciate it more than you know, man. Much love to all you guys out there, all the pure bloods, all the solids, man. All the ones fighting the good fight. And thank you for the feedback, everyone out there. Crazy Horses, 830 pieces, both sides. I reckon you're right there. I appreciate the feedback, guys. And, again, much love. Gonna take us out of here on some music. I'm still looking to get that We're About to Fight released across all platforms. But much love, guys. God willing, I'll be back Wednesday, same time. Right here. Make sure to hit that bell notification as well. Yeah, man. It's been Underground World News Live. Signing off on another one. Over here on Surviving End Times. Much love, Touge. Shout outs to Waffle House. You got that right. I mean, we made it a thing. Much love. Yeah. Doug. El Paso. Nashville, I see you. Ross, Kent Ball, Taco, Panther, D.Y., Susie Q, Joe, all the mods, Jay from the Bill, Eat Vince, Black Cat, Galra, Steve, KY Mountain, Wayne the Pain, Crown Jewels, and Fire the Flame. Georgia. I see you. Pittsburgh. Michigan. San Antonio. Prince Edward Island, Canada. Mexico. Cognac, France. All my cats in the UK. Much love. Anaheim, Alabama, Arizona, Alberta. Wow, the A's rolling in Miami Beach. Texas, North Carolina, worldwide, Colorado. I'll see you guys in the next one. Salute. Much love.